Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your brother coming right back at you once again to give you the irrefutable realities of the human conditions upon this earth, in the past, in the present, and in the future. First of all, let me just tell you, ladies and gentlemen, humanity does not have a long future upon this earth as we know it. Let me say that again. Humanity don't have any future upon this earth as we know it, because we are going back to the future, so to speak, that we are going back to the state of being how God created us. Okay? We were created to be eternal creatures, eternal souls, to worship our Creator. In fact, as we read on, I believe it's in Genesis chapter 1, verse from 26 to 28, we see that the purpose of life is there. See, when you hear from people, what's the meaning of life? Those who ask those questions don't know anything about the sacred book, the Holy Scriptures, humanity instruction book, but yet ignored, misunderstood, scoffed at. Think that this is a book of fairy tales, but yet I'm going to prove to you that humanity is the one that has created its own fairy tales and is living under its own fairy tales. So no wonder it has become an atheist creation, a Satanist creation. Okay. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to take a look at the links that I will send you. By the way, I'm really upset about people making a big hoorah about the Satan Con that's going to be celebrated on April 28th to the 30th in Boston. Ladies and gentlemen, please, where have you been? Do you know the history of the world? See, one thing about history, it does not lie. You can either accept it or you can either deny it, but it is right there looking at you. Are you able to look back at her and understand history? And understand as to why humanity is in the state, is in the conditions that it is in, where everything is a lie. Because the father of life, Satan, the devil, has always been in control upon this earth since we disobey our Creator. In fact, I'm going to read you this what I wrote here real quick. Then I'm going to give you proof that we've been living under a fairy tales, because the fairy tales are made out of lies, right? So I'm going to show you. I'm going to prove to you beyond any shadow of a doubt how, and we loved, and we enjoy, and we get lost. We relish on this, living under this land of fairy tales that we have created for ourselves. Okay? So, here we go. I call it the game of the gods on humanity. Since humanity felt from grace, from its Creator, we have always been in a spiritual fight and battle. In terms of which God we worship. Which God we worship. And as the father of lie, Satan, in its ridiculous and impossible fight or battle to take the authority of God. In fact, he tried that when he was in heaven, where he was known as what? As Lucifer. And he's still known as Lucifer to the Satanists, the people that control this planet. In fact, most of humanity. Here we go. Because he was the chief of all angels. So throughout times, throughout many different empires, dynasty, like the Egyptian dynasty, the governments and human civilization of this world, in this human experience, have always been his, has always been under the shadow, have always governed under the shadow of Satan, okay, who operates from the spiritual realm. And he has come, he has accomplished that men worship him. And I'm going to prove to you that men have always worshiped him. Okay? Men have always played God. He has always played to be God. For he is saturated with the evil essence of his God, with the rebellious spirit. And for this reason, we have always pledged allegiance to this God. In fact, here comes the evidence, ladies and gentlemen. The days of the week, the name of the months have always have what? What do they have in common? God's name. They have named the days and the months of the year God's name of the gods. Here we go. And I'm going to prove it to you, okay? First of all, January was created. That month did not exist. Neither did the month of February existed. It was created. The first month, January, was created in the name of the god Janus, the god of two-face, the two-faced God, the Roman god that you all celebrate in the New Year's celebration. That is a pagan celebration named after a god, Janus. I'm going to send you the link. The month of February, okay, was a month dedicated to the Roman festival of purification called February. March. The month of March is dedicated to what? To Mars, the god of war. In fact, the Roman calendar always began on March, as I just told you. And you can do your own research, because everything that I tell you here is reality. It's irrefutable truth. It's not my opinion. It's irrefutable truth. So here we go. April was meaning, which means aperire, meaning open, which is the beginning of what? the beginning of spring, the renewal of everything. May was the Greek goddess Mai, M-A-I-A. 5, June, the Roman god named Juno, the god of marriage, okay? The god of marriage and birthright. And his wife was Juno was the wife of Jupiter. So Juno, even though it sounds like a masculine name, is actually a female entity. July, the month of July and August. That's easy. It was named after man. July, Julius Caesar in the Roman Empire. August was Augustus, the first Roman emperor. And then the rest of the month was just the Roman numbers. Let me give you an example, and that's exactly what they are. September, number 7. October, number 8. November, number 9. December, number 10. So you see how you've been lie all this time? Making you believe that, for instance, December is the 12th month of the year, when in reality, even it's telling you in the Latin word December, and the same thing for September. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember the Twin Towers that fell, and the Pentagon attacks, and the plane that was blown out of the sky in Virginia? It happened on what? On 7/11, month 7/11. And if you count, it's number 9, which is 9 months to giving birth. Now here we go with the days of the week. Monday, the moon goddess. Tuesday, Mars. Wednesday, the god of Sagittarius. Thursday, Friday, Venus. Saturday, the god of Sodom. And Sunday, the celebration of the sun god. That's why people go to church. They go to church on Sunday. Even the Muslim brother, they go to church on Sunday. See, this whole world has been deceived, have been worked psychologically. Everything is psychological, ladies and gentlemen. Everything. Okay, so let me just give you a rundown, and then I'm going to read some verses, and then I'm done, because tomorrow is another working day. Ladies and gentlemen, check this out. Ever since we fell from grace, we have been worshiping what? False pagan gods, which is to say, we have been worshiping the beast, Satan. Okay? Good. All we got to do is just go like this. Look what was happening in the Babylon Empire. The Moloch and the sun god worshiping. The Middle Persian Empire, the same thing. You have the celebration of the Mazda and the Haruri god. Then you move on to the Greek Empire. Zeus, Aphrodite, Apollo, oh my, Poseidon, the god of water, you name it. Before we go on to the last empire, which is the Roman Empire, then we go to the Egyptian dynasties. The main god was Ra, R-A. They also had something called, an entity called the god of death, Anubis. You have the Incas, which are part of God's 12 tribes of Israel. You have the Incas in South America. Their god was Inti. Then you got the Mayans in Mexico, and not only Mexico, but it was a combination of Mexicans and Zabulon tribes. Mexican is from the Issachar tribes. Well, the Mayan Empire was actually all of Mexico, and then they went through Central America, Guatemala. In fact, there are still old pyramids there in Guatemala, San Salvador. Okay? Costa Rica, you name it, ladies and gentlemen. All of Central America was ruled by the Mayans. Then came the most cold-blooded kingdom, the most blooded empire, the Aztec Empire, who used to kill for fun, as a sacrifice to their gods. So you see, we cannot deny the fact that we have been played by the lie and the games of the gods. So why are we making a big deal out of this SATANCon that's coming up in Boston on April 28th through the 30th? What is the big deal, ladies and gentlemen? The whole of humanity have always been under control by the devil. What is the big freaking deal? The fact of the matter is that this world is about to be destroyed very soon, because it has transformed humanity into unrecognizable creatures. As it was in the day of Noah, so it shall be in these last days. See, the reality, ladies and gentlemen, is that for each times, for each epoch, for each empire throughout human history, God has used, the God of this world, Satan has used different games according to his purpose and agenda. He has always driven humanity. He has taken humanity by the hand and has completely shown humanity to follow him. And the whole of humanity have worshiped him. And hence, this is why humanity is completely possessed by this spirit. Whether you want to accept it or not, then riddle me this. Why do people identify and live according to his spirit? Let me give you an example. He was created in heaven. He was the first angel created by God, right? Okay. Now let's go back to earth for a minute. You have kids hating on their parents, dishonoring. You have children, boys and girls, sons and daughters, dishonoring their mother, the place where they actually came out of. So little do they know that when you do that, you are dishonoring and you are yourself, and you are opening yourself up for more demon possessions. So here we go. And this being the last days of this last human generations, the devil is using technology for the purpose that he meant it at the end. Because, ladies and gentlemen, whether you want to believe it or not, technology have always existed. Electricity have always existed. In fact, we have electricity in our body, in the nervous system. Okay? We are so silly rabbits because we don't know our history. So we are falling into many lies because remember, everything is a psychological game. Let me tell you, let me give you one of the greatest one of all. That your vote counts, especially in the United States, when in reality, it doesn't. Your leaders are actually chosen. They are not elected, they are selected. So they have come to you with many different lies, and sometimes they change their wording. Okay, let me give you an example. I mean, I could give you all kinds of examples, and I'll be here all night. But let me just give you a couple. First, remember global warming. Oh, no, it's not global warming anymore. It's climate change. That sounds more appealing. You see the psychology in this? Okay. Then we have the Hippocratic Oath, which the medicine community takes. They swear by pagan gods like Apollo to take care of you. You understand the game? You see why doctors work with big pharma, pharmakia, which pharmakia in Greek, which actually means sorcery, witchcraft, and that's the same side effects that it has on the body, on the human body, with the side effects. The human sacrifice, especially of innocent victims like little kids. Back in the days, it used to be that people used to have what? Used to pass the kids through the fire. And they used to give the kids to Moloch. They used to put the kids in little cages, almost newborn. Put it in cages, and they would be thrown into the fire. So that Moloch, the devil, can actually make people financially stable and all of that. It's sad, ladies and gentlemen. Human beings have ceased to be humans. We don't have any human. We are completely transformed, just like it was in the days of Noah and in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. So we have, back in the day was taking the kids to the fire. Today is passing law protecting a mother's right to kill the baby through the process of abortion. Then we have homosexuality. We have transgenderism. We have binary, non-conforming. There are 56 sexual orientation out there, ladies and gentlemen. You know what that means? It's 56. It's more than that. It is 56 evil spirit possession. Humanity are being possessed all over the place. And the very purpose of homosexuality being pushed, especially by the first beast, which is the Roman Catholic Church, okay, is to destroy, is to attack the human family as God intended, as God created it. Because God created, God Almighty, whose real name is I am that I am, Asha Ahaya. As he says in the I believe it's in verse 28 on Genesis chapter 1 verse 28, it says, or 27 I think it is, it says, he created he finished creating humanity, right? And then he says at the end, male and female created them he. You understand? You know why that was written there? Because God knew that humanity was going to get so twisted, even worse than Sodom and Gomorrah, that this was going to be divided. That's why we have lost the meaning of a woman. Remember? They asked the Supreme Court nominee, whatever her name is, something right. And she said, no, I'm not a biologist. I cannot define. Herself being a woman, she could not identify what a woman is. Sick. But it's okay. We are at the end of this ridiculousness. Then you have the feminine. Woman wants to be boys. Boys wants to be men. So, ladies and gentlemen, feminism has always actually contributed to this. And what feminism was born was with the concept of the Queen of Heaven, who was what? Semiramis, who ended up how? Single mom. Because she was married, remember, to her son and husband, Nimrod, the first powerful hunter. Okay, so all of these facts have contributed to the psychology that the devil has used to control the masses. Okay? For instance, look at the 1960s civil movement with Martin Luther King. What a joke that was. You think that was going to make a difference? No, ladies and gentlemen, this war is against God's people. The Negroes in America are from the tribe of Judah. Okay? They are from the tribe of Judah. But one thing that they got to understand is that Christ was not a black man. They want you to believe that he was black, but because God does not have any color. Okay, people become certain colors. And I'll be talking about that on another video. Okay, I'm going to tell you why the black race became a black race, but we were not original black. There's no blackness. God is always neutral. The brown people, the Indian people were the skin tone, the melanin, where we originally created as. So you mean that Adam and Eve were black? Ladies and gentlemen, please do not get it twisted. Esau was white. That's it. And Esau being white, that, you know what he's called? That's leprosy. They're lepers. And there are two kinds of leprosy. The ones that when skin colors, skin tones are in different colors on your body. That's what is called dirty leprosy. And then you have the other ones, which is the most popular one, which is clean leprosy, which means that your whole body is completely white. But anyway, I'm going to leave that for another. I'm getting ahead of myself when I reach the when I make the other videos, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, we become the essence of our actions. For instance, let me give you an example. The United States, or should I say the Europeans, still the same. The Europeans took over the American continent. The British, who was the European, took over the continent of Africa, which is the largest continent. India and Hong Kong. So they created, okay, so you understand? So in the United States, for instance, they took over this continent of the Americas. But they had to make the system be in a perpetual state of theft. Okay? Through the fiat system at the Federal Reserve, and of course, the enforcers, the IRS. If you buy a house in the United States and you completely pay it off, you don't owe 1 cent on that house. But you don't pay the tax man, they will come and take your house away for which you worked so hard for. Hallelujah. So you understand, ladies and gentlemen? Okay? So the worshiping of gods, that has been a game of each god according to the what? To their empires, to their times, throughout human history. So now you understand as to why the theory of evolution came up back in the 1800s. I mean, so many lies have been thrown. The lies have been so overwhelming for the human mind that people, most of humanity, all of humanity has completely given themselves up to the beast system, to the matrix, and they don't want to be unplugged. They'd rather be a slave to the system. And they don't mind being slayed by the system, being raped by the system. The system thinks that it is slick, when in reality is going towards self-destruction. You have to be smarter than your enemy. If you don't know your enemy, ladies and gentlemen, you have lost the battle before the battle even starts. This has always been an ongoing spiritual battle. In fact, let us read it on verse 6, Ephesians chapter 6. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So you understand This is not a laughing matter, ladies and gentlemen. This is no joke. So please, do not distract yourself, ladies and gentlemen, with this SatanCon summit, which is coming up in Boston in this year, April 28th, to April 30th, 2023. Do not get distracted by that. That's like by getting distracted with this racism thing. Okay? Please, you have to be aware that this whole earth, forget about this Satan's temple. I mean, they're just a bunch of lost, ridiculous people that don't know who they're messing with. They think they know. They call it, oh, it is a state of consciousness. We don't believe in hurting kids. but throughout history, they've been shedding kids' blood. In fact, they've been eating kids' blood. And they do it till this last day. They sacrifice. And they have always lied to you. Okay? You know what's been happening in the last 3 years with the jab system? Okay? You know what the humanity have been through during the last 3 years. Hasn't it been proven that what they consider a solution turned out to be a lie? I'm glad I wasn't part of that lie. They couldn't trick me. See? You have to outsmart the real devil, the real God of this world. Because they love him. They love their God. It's written even the monetary system in the United States. They say in God we trust. You understand? In God we trust. And we use that money that says in God we trust to kill babies. We use that same money in God we trust to start a war with innocent people and kill 1.2 million of them in Iraq in the year 2003 over a lie. Remember, the essence is the lie. Going back to the original lie, the devil's disciples through history, through our empires, they have always done this. It is always a belief system. Okay? Little do they know that soon they will be destroyed. But yet, they believe that Christ is not coming back. I'm going to be your God upon this earth. Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah, they coming. And people would think that they are extraterrestrial beings. E.T. Thanks to Hollywood. Ladies and gentlemen, the symbols are everywhere. Because they want to make sure that humanity gets to the point of accepting this garbage. To accept their God. To accept the Rockefellers. They've been at this. They've been at working of what humanity have gone through during this past 3 years. They have been at work for many, many years on this. Bill Gates and the Bill and the Belinda Foundations. These people don't have enough money. They don't even know what to do. They got so many demons that even after they get caught doing things that are against the law, like Loretta Expressway, going with Epstein to the island, people are still following this man. I'm also going to tell you about the Tesla lie. Okay? You have to outsmart your enemy who hates you. Because remember, after God threw this garbage out of heaven, remember what God did. He created us in his image. And we are the only creature created in God's image. Whether you want to believe it or not, if you want to believe in your billions upon billions of years coming out of nothing, being this wonderful creation, okay? They want to replace the food that you eat. Have you heard of Beyond Meat? They want people to get used to this, ladies and gentlemen. May God bless you. And remember, there's more.